Hi, I'm Lhadon, and this is Our Nation, news and analysis on the state of Tibet. Today is Friday, March the 6th, and I'm coming to you from Hong Kong. I have changed locations. I'm in a cafe in Wanchai because the lighting is better. It might be a bit noisy, but please, if you can, try to ignore the background sounds. And Tendor will be back with us soon, I promise. He is in transit right now, traveling on the road, but he will join us as we approach March 10th and the historic 50th anniversary of the Tibetan Uprising in Lhasa that led to the escape of the Dalai Lama and, of course, the last 50 years of Tibet under Chinese rule. That is on Tuesday, March 10th. Radio Free Asia is reporting new protests in Kham in eastern Tibet, at the same time reporting a campaign there by Tibetans to boycott an official Losar or New Year dance troupe. Chinese news media reporting Tape, the Tibetan monk who lit himself on fire in eastern Tibet in protest about a week ago today on the 27th, that he's stable and also in hospital, and that a monk from his monastery has confessed to spreading rumors about the shooting. Champa Punzo, the governor of the Tibetan Autonomous Region from Beijing, saying Tibet is always open to the foreign media, and Tibetan blogs and online forums reported to be closed for maintenance. So right to the protests in eastern Tibet. Yesterday, two Tibetan women, a nun named Pema Yangzum, aged 22, and a girl whose name and age were unavailable, staged separate protests in front of Kanze PSB, Public Security Bureau office, according to the nun's uncle, Yishi Dorji, who is now living in Australia. He said, "My niece protested at around 10:20 a.m. and was quickly taken away by the Chinese police. And then the other young girl appeared at the same place in the afternoon about 1 p.m. and protested, and she too was taken away." Yishi Dorji said he was unable to obtain further details about the protests, calling the presence of Chinese forces in the area overwhelming. So this is just incredible. Two women staging individual protests all by themselves in front of the Public Security Bureau office, the feared PSB, in Kanze, or Chinese say Ganzi, which is in eastern Tibet, in Kham, the eastern Tibetan province of Kham, but now is administered under China's Sichuan province. We'll try and get more information about this protest for you soon. Radio Free Asia is also reporting this incredible campaign of Tibetans in the same area to boycott a dance troupe that was being taken around, basically officially organized to sort of probably force Tibetans to celebrate Losar, like we were hearing was happening in all over Tibet. So basically, the authorities in Kanze reportedly ordered the performance group to tour different towns and villages and present cultural programs to mark Losar activities, but they were met with cold sort of reception everywhere they went. Many Tibetans didn't show up, even though they were being told that they should, that they must. And in fact, in some areas, people put posters up. Before the performance group arrived, RFA reported, hundreds of posters were put up urging Tibetans not to attend the shows. In some of the posters, the Chinese authorities were threatened with violent retaliation for their crackdown on peaceful Tibetans. Even government employees at the sub-district and township levels were warned not to attend the shows. They were told that if they did, they would pay with their lives. So really, I mean, considering the climate inside Tibet right now and how much everybody is being intimidated and the level of the military, presence of the military and troops everywhere, it's just incredible, the defiance and the way that Tibetans are being so bold. In this area in particular, in Kanze, it's got a history, a long history through all these decades of incredible resistance, right since the Chinese entered Tibet 6 decades ago. Of course, the officer on duty in the Kanze PSB did say that the dance performance was a great success, and it was organized by the local Tibetans. That's the line anyway, official line out of Kanze. So, yeah, incredible resistance everywhere. Now, the story about Tape, the Tibetan monk from Amdong Aba Kirti, or Aba, in eastern Tibet, They're saying, the authorities are saying he is in a hospital in Chengdu, which is the capital of Sichuan province, and that he is out of danger. They say he was in very dangerous condition when he was first sent here. More than half of his body had been burnt, and he was in serious shock. That's according to this doctor. He is out of danger now. Of course, we don't know if that's true. It seems likely that they have him, and that they would say this only if he was going to live. But what is very disturbing and what made our hearts sink last night was when we saw the report from Xinhua saying a Tibetan monk from Taipei's monastery has confessed to making up, spreading rumors about the shooting. Because, of course, Taipei didn't just self-immolate. Many eyewitnesses on the scene reported that the police fired 3 shots and 1 hit him. And now they're saying that Junkor, a monk at the Kirti Monastery in Aba County, acknowledged that he lied to, quote, create greater disturbances so as to attract attention from overseas, which just makes us feel sick, because very likely they have threatened, intimidated, tortured, beaten some poor monk in the monastery into admitting that he spread the information to the outside world, whether it's true or not. This is something they do often. It's nothing new. We've seen it before, but it's extremely disturbing and disheartening on one level, just because we know that there's great suffering that is going on for the monks of Kirti Monastery and the people of Amdong Aba in general at this time. We will try to get more information, but the phone lines, a lot of them have been either cut, disconnected, or the service is disrupted in this area. Now, numerous reports saying foreigners and media are being barred from Tibetan areas, banned from entering, turned back, detained even. A lot of journalists have been detained and moved out of the area. The Chinese way of responding officially is through the Xinhua and through Champa Punzo, who's the governor of the Tibetan Autonomous Region, saying from Beijing, oh, of course, the media is always welcome in Tibet. He says, our door is always open as long as the reporters conduct their coverage in a just and objective way that is conducive to Tibet's social and economic development. So in other words, you're welcome to come as long as you don't criticize us or do what the media is supposed to do, dig for the truth or the facts, and tell, our side of the story. Then you're welcome to come. He says that the region would still have to have some special regulations on tourists and media coverage due to the limits of the region's climate and geographic conditions. And we've heard this before. Basically, the government tells the journalists it's in their own interest. They have to be very careful when they come to Tibet, not to strain themselves because, the climate, the altitude, they'll get sick. We have to take care of you. And then they try and limit what they're allowed to see and where they're allowed to go. And I think that is, the message of the Chinese government is as long as you keep Tibet shut off from the world, everyone is going to question what's going on there. As long as you don't let people travel independently or see for themselves, everybody knows there's a big problem. And that likely the stories that Tibetans tell are probably the true ones. Because China and the Chinese government, the Chinese officials are not known for their embracing of media freedom or freedom of expression. People know this, and I think the more they do this, the more it just shows the world what is just one big lie that comes out of their mouths about Tibet all the time in their state media, in their puppets that they bring out, like Champa Punzo, to speak to the media, and the Tibetans that they trot in front of the cameras to say how happy and prosperous they are under Beijing's rule. Nobody believes this, ultimately. So they've got to figure that one out. Anyway, High Peaks Pure Earth reporting, all quiet on the Tibetan blogs front. They were very much looking forward to bringing the voice of Tibetans, at least from blogs and online forums, out of Tibet and China during this historic time, and as China tries to seal Tibet off from foreigners, from journalists, from tourists. At least this little bit of information they would be able to get out from the blogs. But Tibet Culture, TibetCall.com and other Tibetan online sites, I guess, are being shut down for maintenance. Now, that's all they can say from the Tibet Call side, but they had a message to their netizens saying they will be closed for maintenance for about a week. So for now, through the most important period of around the 50th anniversary of the Tibetan Uprising. But that's all the time we have, so we'll be back with more. We'll go through the weekend as we approach March 10th. It's Our Nation, news and analysis on the state of Tibet. Thanks for watching, and see you again soon.